on Wednesday, and they're at Kent State this weekend. Go ahead. Questions for Coach Miller?
Would you start as coach just talking about Wednesday's game with Akron first?
Big game for us. Akron is very well coached. Jody Kest is clearly one of the elite coaches in the league, and has her team prepared. They'll know what we're going to do, and they'll have a game plan certainly, and a tough team to prepare for because they run so many different sets and have a lot of counters, and for what you try to do to them, they have a lot of counters. So it's a tough game to prepare for. They have good balance between very, very talented young kids with great athleticism, but they still have the wily veteran Kara Murphy that you have to plan for as a senior and one of the toughest wings in the league. So it's a very difficult game and a big game for us in the grand scheme of things in the East race.
Would you consider it one of those trap games potentially? You open with Miami, one of the top competitors, and then Saturday you've got Kent. I mean, is this a trap game by definition, or is Akron better than that?
No, Akron's better than that, and I think when you have trap games is when your players underestimate teams. And after the win against Miami, our players were instantly talking about some of the personnel for Akron, and that was nice to see how much they respect Akron. So certainly not a trap game, and we'll have their attention over the next 48 hours with how many things that they can do to us that hurt us. Rachel Tecca, their outstanding post player, last year as a freshman came in this building and scored 26 points. So they remember that, they understand that, and so it's a team that's very, very dangerous, and we have to have two good days of practice in order to prepare for them.
As the winning streak has grown, I'm sure it's nothing you've ever brought up, but did the kids talk about things like protecting it or anything like that?
You know, we haven't talked about the winning streak. You almost forget it happens because we keep on threatening them that we forgot to give them their Evansville game tape for Christmas, and so we keep bringing things back up that they're not gonna rest, but they want to protect home court. It's a special year in Anderson Arena. We have a lot of tough games remaining in Anderson Arena, but we would like to do whatever we can to protect home court here, especially in this last year. And so we are going to try our darndest to keep playing good basketball at home.
I know that Kent State is 2 games away, but could you talk a little bit about the Flashes?
Haven't watched a second of tape, so this is going off the respect of you know, the coach that Bob Lindsay is. He's obviously the winningest coach in MAC history. He's recently gone over 400 wins for his career, so that speaks about his success, his longevity, and his ability to adapt through the years and play a style that continues to allow him to be successful. Without watching a second on tape, the thing that you know about their roster is they're very experienced and can put 5 seniors on the floor at one time or play a lot of minutes with seniors. So they have great experience. They've been through the wars, and so they're not, you know, they're not going to be intimidated by anyone, and they're going to want to protect their home court. The MAC Center over in Kent, Ohio is a tough place to get wins, and you know, we will start to prepare hard Wednesday night after the Akron game is over for Kent State.
You mentioned the Evansville game. How far have these kids come in 2 months now?
Well, our consistency has been better, and you know, we found ways to win nights when we haven't played our best basketball, and then there's some nights where we've been very good this year and have beat some good teams and really had some big margin of victories against quality opponents. So our consistency has been better through the year. The surprising thing to me early on in MAC play now and with non-conference behind us is how good our defense has been in field goal percentage wise, and we're leading the league in points allowed, we're leading the league in field goal percentage defense, and that's after graduating your 2 best athletes. And it was a real concern on how we would be defensively. So I think the biggest surprise on the season for us is that so far we've been a pretty good defensive team, and that will need to be even better if we're going to win the MAC. But we like where we're at defensively right now.
What Can you talk about why the defense has been a little bit better than you thought?
I think that with a veteran team comes attention to detail, and our detail and scouting reports, our ability to stick to game plans and understand how opponents want to try to attack you. I think they're doing a great job in scouting reports and taking away players' strengths and weaknesses, and what we lack with great individual one-on-one defenders and where we can't extend the floor 94 feet like a lot of teams. We understand what teams try to do and make them try to play to their weaknesses, and I think that is because we have a lot of veterans on this team.
There'll be another top 25 poll coming out this week. I'm going to guess you guys will probably be on the outside because that's the way it's been the last few weeks. I know you don't get in the polls, but I mean, do you feel like maybe you're worth a spot? I mean, with this great winning streak and how good the team's been?
You know, the polls are great for mailouts. You know, it's just a great tool for recruiting. But honestly, for our team, it means nothing. The recruiting and your fan base. That's what it's great for, because your fan base gets all excited. Your fans get to watch scores scroll across the ticker when you're top 25. But really, for the players playing and the coaches in the middle of it, it means absolutely nothing. We're excited that this year there's so many mid-major polls out there, and that we're respected in those polls. And you know, we're excited that ESPN beat writers have covered us. We're excited that WNBA coaches contact us to talk to us about our players. You know, we can have a special year and never be ranked. It just really doesn't mean a lot to us. But you know, I would love for the fan base to be happy. I would love for recruits to take notice. But you know, our kids are just going to keep working. You can already hear them working, and with the excitement down, getting ready for Akron.
Is that something that's had an impact in the past several years, getting some of the level of kids you have, like Lauren Tracy, those kinds of, you know?
Our success,
yeah,
without question, opens the doors in recruiting. It's still all about relationship building and a fit for those recruits, but when you have success and you've won some championships and you've had a high success of winning percentage and the conference championships, it opens up doors. But still, it's all about, my assistant coaches are great at building relationships with recruits, and we feel like it's a great family fit, and we play in a great conference, and I think it all contributes. But certainly your winning initially helps open doors.
You mentioned WNBA scouts and the such, and could you have imagined 4 or 5 years ago that a skinny kid from a middle-sized high school in the Columbus area would be the player she is?
Well, she was a fantastic high school
Right.
player, and when we realized that the Big Ten schools questioned her toughness, you know, we almost hoped Lauren wouldn't eat the rest of her high school career, so she would stay skinny, and you know, that we could end up getting her because of that. But you know, she's so basketball tough, and I'm not sure we envisioned that she would be as good as she is, but she was a special player in high school, and I think a lot of people overlooked her.
How much has she come along even since then, since she's gotten here?
Well, the thing that continues to be underrated about her is she's a great defender with her length, and she understands scouting reports, and she does a great job taking away her player each and every night. But what has really improved from her high school career to now is her three-point shooting. She was a great 15-foot shooter in high school, but she didn't take a lot of threes, and now she's obviously proven to be one of the best three-point shooters in conference history. You have to throw her up there as one of the best shooters in the country, and that's a credit to her hard work, because she did not take a lot of threes in high school.
Coach, I had one of the people who follow the blog who wanted me to ask about the men's team that you practice against. Could you just give me a little background on that? I mean, how long have you done it? What's the purpose? How often do you see them? Stuff like that.
We started practicing consistently against the men's practice squad in our second and really full throttle in our third year. And I think it's no coincidence that at the time where we started practicing against guys was the time when our program really started to take off. And you challenge your players away from the breaks, the winter break, the Christmas break, the Thanksgiving breaks, away from those breaks. You really get to challenge the team against bigger, stronger, faster players each and every night. You also don't bang on yourselves each night and ruin some of the team chemistry and cohesiveness that you have. And so it's been a big part of our growth as a program. And we have a very young men's practice squad this year, not as talented as some years. I mean, some years you look down there and you could have taken people off our men's practice squad and put it on our men's team, and they could have been significant walk-ons. This year's team is out there for, really for the right reasons, to help us get better. And it's a young, developing men's practice squad that a lot of underclassmen that we hope that will be there for years to come and continue to help us get better. But philosophy-wise, we really believe in it. Without taking reps away from our players and our bench, we really believe in it in stretches that it can help us.
Safe to assume that other women's teams do this? This is standard practice?
I believe that it's getting close to 100%. It's very high percentage that most teams now practice at least portions of a week against a male practice squad.
And like, how often would you see them? Like once or twice a week, or?
Our guys are a split squad, meaning some, because of class schedules, can come Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Some can come Tuesday, Thursday. So 5 days a week, we will have guys around, but limited. Sometimes we're working against 2 of them in drills. Sometimes we have 4 of them, and we put one of our players with them, and we're playing 5-on-5. And so it just depends on the day. But 4 or 5 days a week, we're going to use them in short stretches to help us get better. And they can certainly help you as scouting.
That's what I
We
was
don't have,
saying,
like for this particular game, we don't have anyone on our roster that can simulate Akron's 2 best players. A post player that has tremendous feet and a guard that posts up really well. We don't have that on our roster. So yeah, it allows us to get ready for a fast post player. It allows us to get ready for a post up guard by using guys in practice.
Any other questions? Okay.